welcome back. This is another small update on the Om606 four-wheel drive camper van based on Renault Traffic or Vivaro or Primemaster, whatever you want to call it. It's the same chassis, same body, just different badge. Well, it doesn't matter. What we did, as you know, we removed the M57 engine and we fitted the Om606. For the obvious reasons, this is overlanding expedition vehicle and we want full reliability. Not that M57N is not a reliable engine, but it relies on electronics, and I didn't want it to rely on any electronics, just on the pure mechanical engine setup, which this is. This is a fully mechanical pump. This is not the actual pump that stays in there. We ordered a performance pump, but it's still on the way, hasn't arrived yet. So we did in the turbo. That's why the exhaust manifold isn't finished, because the turbo is not there. I can't mock it up. However, this is the intercooler, and we stay in that position because everything is built already for intercooler to be there. But today I find out a massive downside from swapping this the M57 for this engine here. This engine here is slightly longer. When I built this engine bay and the tuner for the transmission and everything, I built it specifically for the M57N. I was 100% sure I'm gonna keep that engine, I'm gonna change it. However, because this is slightly longer, I'll no longer have enough space for the radiator. And with this engine, the radiator is supposed to be actually bigger than the one it was before there. I cannot move the intercooler forward. I spent 2-3 hours looking for the solution, but the bad news is that there is no space to make a decent setup with a big enough radiator for this engine in this front end. So what we're gonna do? Yeah, we're not gonna fit a radiator in the front of this engine. There's only going to be that oil cooler and this intercooler with the piping. That's it. The radiator is not going to be on the front. Now, I know you're waiting for me to say where I'm going to put the radiator, but I'm not going to say it because it is bonkers. It is probably, I don't know if it's the craziest or the stupidest idea I ever had, or I've tried to do some research. If someone done it before, I couldn't find anyone. I'm probably gonna be the first one that I know to test it. If it's gonna work or not, I think it's gonna work. But again, it could be a failure. Let's find out. I'm not gonna tell you where the radiator is gonna go because yeah, it makes me laugh just to think about. I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna test it first, and then I'm gonna show you. Actually, no, I'm gonna do it and then show you, and we're gonna test it together. If it's a failure, fuck it, and I will have to improve it somehow. But that's it for the radiator. Let's remove this intercooler and show you what's going on behind, because I actually done some work on it today, not just removing the intercooler from the place. Let me just guide you through. We have a remotely fitted oil filter with the pipes going around. There's not enough light. It's all fitted there. That small light over the small pipe over there, that's from the heater matrix, goes inside the bulkhead through the AN12 fittings. As you can see there, through the bulkhead. This one goes in, and the one on the bottom. Let me just grab a light. There you go. The one on the bottom connects to the original Merc heater pump, I will call it. Now this pipe then rubber pipe goes around, blah blah blah, goes around, goes into this smaller pipe, and then it connects back into the original Merc pipe that goes into this original Merc Y piece, which one side goes to the water pump housing as original, and this side will go into expansion tank. And in my case, I'm actually using the Volkswagen. I think this is Passat or something like this. expansion tank. I find them very good. They hold the pressure very nicely, and this is already fitted and is a spot on space for it. So I'm gonna probably use this one. Unless it fails, then I'm gonna put the Merc one. But I think this will do just great. As you can notice, I fitted this another pipe. Obviously, this goes from the original place from there, goes here with the bracket so it doesn't move. This is AN20 fitting. They are fairly big. I modified the thermostat housing as well, welded this AN20 as well fitting for the other pipe or the pipe. Now they only go in here, they rest on the tire just because obviously it's a mock-up, and yeah, I'm not gonna tell you where they're gonna go because, as I said before, I don't want to, because it's too funny or too stupid. Either way, oil lines, they go inside here on the top of the. Obviously, I have to make brackets for them on the top of the air compressor. I was debating of keeping it or not, but at the end I'm gonna keep it and use it as an air compressor, as I used to do before. These lines, they used to go outside there, but as you see, it's a bit tight between the belt, which obviously is gonna move with the engine and the chassis. And to be honest, I didn't want them to rub on the chassis, because sooner or later, if something is rubbing, it's gonna make a problem out of it. So, and we don't want to mess. We don't want to mess with the oil lines, because if you got a leak from the oil lines, it may result in the engine failure. So that's it. Yes, this is not bolted on because I just put them this one. I just put them on just to put the belt in place, to see this line here, and to try and to match this line together with this one. Obviously it's sloppy, so it's not exactly the same, but it is pretty much there. I haven't done anything on the plenum. I have to modify it because I don't like the front of it. I chopped it too much, as I said before, so I will have to modify that one. And I think that's it. Oh, this is the fuel filter I'm gonna use with the water separator. This is a water separator, and you can see through, so you can see if there's any water in. You can just drain it off. If it's not fitted, it's gonna be slightly higher. This is fitted. This is a blank off because I modified this plate, put the two holes in there, threads. This is the pressure sensor. This is gonna be a temp sensor, but I don't have one. I'm still waiting for it to be delivered. New spare pipe, obviously has to be fitted yet, but plenty of work to do yet. This is how it looks like so far. Not much of a progress. Kind of like this, and the idea of using all the AN fittings. I have, because you see the water pump has been modified as well. I brought this. There you go. That pipe over there between the 6th and the 5th cylinder. As we know, this should help. This should help with the cooling issues on the Om606. And well, luckily enough, the place where I'm gonna put the radiator is big, so I can actually put something very large. I was thinking a super radiator, which is they're very big, but I can actually put something even bigger. So maybe it's not gonna be in the most efficient place for flow. I'm giving this away. But because we're gonna use a massive radiator, I shouldn't have any issues with overheating this engine when it's on full load. Let's say, for example, the van is fully loaded and I'm towing the trailer behind me, fully loaded. We can expect, I don't know, 4 tons, exceeding 4 tons, 4.5 maybe, if I tow another car behind me, because it happened before on a big, steep, long hills. I mean, if you're doing a hill and it's short, it doesn't matter, because the engine is going to be on the load for a very short amount of time. But when they're very long, and we're going into Alps this summer, I'm expecting very steep and very long hills. So the engine is going to be blowing quite a lot of boost, lots of fuel. EGT is going to, you will want to rise up, and the water is going to obviously boil if you don't have a good cooling system. So it's going to be a bit tricky to make it work, but I'll try my best, and once it's done, I'm going to show you everything. as we stand today, it is what it is. The progress is slow because I don't work on it every day, because I can't, only a few days per week. But I'm trying to do everything proper this time, you know, not just, yeah, I'll do it later. I'm not interested in that stuff anymore. Taking my time and do everything. I'm not saying proper, but at least decent, you know, good welds, you know, pipes and this in fittings, good lines, and sensors everywhere. I'm liking this fact of using this bulkhead through fittings, AN12, you know, so there's no more, I don't know if I showed you that before, I think I did, there you go, you know, it's nice and tidy, neat. I don't want any pipes just going through and rubbering and all the stuff, just everything nice and tight. So even if the engine moves and everything is nice and secure, plus it looks good as well. So yeah, tomorrow, I don't know if the turbo arrives. I'm gonna fit the turbo, make the exhaust pipe. If it doesn't, I may finish the plenum, but eventually I will have to start building the fuel tank. The fuel tank is already started, it's already mocked up, but there's plenty of work to do to it. So I'm not sure yet. However, we're gonna find out tomorrow, because I'm gonna do something tomorrow. I do another update tomorrow afternoon. So far so good.